Nissan's electric vehicles run on a special electricity. Not the electricity that turns on light bulbs or runs through your outlets. I'm talking that spine-tingling goosebump feeling that electrifies your body and soul. It could be the simple win of leaving on time for your morning commute or scoring the largest deal of your career. Nissan is continuously evolving and changing the game through electric vehicle engineering. Because the electricity of their cars not only moves engines, it also moves the emotions of those who drive them. To learn more about Nissan's electric vehicle lineup, visit www.nissanusa.com.
This episode is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. It's a special thing to be a member of Navy Federal because they are a member-owned, not-for-profit credit union that invests in its members with amazing rates and low fees. That's why members could earn and save more every year. Plus, they serve all branches of the armed forces, veterans, and their families. So if you're interested in becoming a member, learn more at NavyFederal.org. At Navy Federal Credit Union, our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
Episode 187, our favorite personal finance apps.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast, where you'll learn to save money, embrace simplicity, and live a richer life. Here are your hosts, Jen and Jill.
Ooh. Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast. My name is Jen.
My name is Jill.
And we are doing a very frequently requested episode from us of personal finance apps. We're going to cover the big stalwarts in the industry and some of our favorites and some new ones that we weren't even familiar with but are really excited about. So this is going to be a really fun episode to nerd out on.
I learned some new things, so I imagine you all will learn some new things too.
I learned new things, and I just got back from a personal finance conference where most of the apps were supposed to be. So,
wow.
There you go.
There you go. Stay tuned. Don't change the channel.
I don't love apps. Yeah, I don't love apps, so that I will give that disclaimer in general. But before we get into it, let's thank today's really lovely sponsors. Especially love these ones. The first one is our 7-day no spend challenge workbook. You are about to be spending more money than usual starting next week. So why not prepare with a no spend week? So we've created a free mini workbook that will help you plan, execute, and reflect on your no spend challenge so that after 7 days or 5 days, however long you want to do it, you know what you need to work on moving forward. You have some insight you can carry with you over the holidays and have an action plan to start working on it in the new year. So if that sounds like something you need, head to frugalfriendspodcast.com/free to get your free workbook.
Also brought to you by apps. But not the phone apps. They're getting enough attention in today's episode. It's the food appetizers we're talking about right now. And for us frugal friends, we know that if we're ordering a meal at a restaurant, we skip the apps. However, if we want to be real extra frugal, we know how to make a whole meal out of those apps. Apps. Tinier meals, but just as flavorful.
If you were Ramit Sethi listening to this, who's a personal finance author of I Will Teach You to Be Rich, he would be so angry because he loves apps. I think that's like his big thing in his book. He's like, I wanted to be rich enough to buy all the apps and just not care about it.
And not worry
But he does
about
love
it.
frugality. So it just depends on what your values align with.
Hey, I love apps. Sometimes I prefer it
apps.
over a meal. One of my favorite things to do at the holidays is just make all of the apps. And that's our party, is just an appetizer party.
Well, if you view them as tiny meals, you love tiny things. So
yes, exactly.
That makes
it's
sense.
Cute and flavorful. And it's always the cocktail hour at weddings that are the best. I've learned, fill up on those appetizers because the meal is never as good.
It's so true,
That's my wedding tip.
Yes. The appetizers are actually, because they're smaller and there's less of them, you can afford fancier ones, I think. So
they're always
what a
so
great
much
tip.
better. Yeah. There you
Well,
go.
if that's
Apps.
all you take from today's episode, then you have gotten something.
You're still doing well.
Yes. But if you'd like to continue on with us, this episode, we are focusing on money management apps. If you are interested in money saving apps like rebate apps, apps that help you make money, then head back into our archives all the way back to episode 81. 81. We're on 187 now.
Over 100 episodes ago.
Yeah. We talk about our favorite money-making and saving apps there. And I look back at the show notes, and they're very similar to what we feel today. So it was 2 years ago, but not much has changed on that front. Still wasn't a huge and you can tell why it's been over 2 years since we've done an app episode. I just don't love the clutter of apps on my phone. I don't have a lot of them. So I don't play around with a lot of them. I'll do like social media sponsorships with different apps. And it's like torture for me to download their app and actually use it. Not because their app is torture, because I just don't
you
like
don't
apps.
love it. Yeah, but I think that's the thing here, though. We're not recommending that everybody have all of these. I think it is a matter of identifying what are my needs, what would be most helpful to me. I think apps are meant to be useful. So if there's an area of spending or saving or money management that you're having difficulty with, an app can be really helpful. So while I'm similar, Jen, I'm pretty minimalist with what apps I utilize, especially as it relates to personal finance. I mean, for budgeting, I use a Google spreadsheet. But even when I look through this list, I'm like, oh, I actually do have some problems in this area, and this app could help me solve that problem. So I think it's still worth talking about and identifying, is there one on this list that could be useful?
Absolutely. And I think there will be. So we'll go first with this first article, which kind of will talk about the major players in the field, not necessarily the best, though the title is from The Balance. It's called Best Personal Finance Apps. And then there's another like subheader that says the 8 best personal finance apps. But spoiler alert, there are only 7. I don't know why it says 8.
But the editor didn't catch that.
No. So thank you, The Balance, for that. And yeah, we're not even going to go over all of them. But we will first start with Mint, obviously. That is the most well-known, most widely used. And it's great that it automatically imports transactions for free. When I was a writer at the Penny Hoarder, I had an article, I wanted to write an article about the best budgeting apps because I really wanted to find the best budgeting app, and I really didn't want to have to pay for it. And so I, in that season, tried a lot of different apps, and maybe that's why I hate them now. That's a interesting insight. But I still couldn't find one. And so I actually don't even think paying for apps is bad. I think probably it's better than the free ones, but Mint was kind of the front runner because it had that automatic transaction tracking that I wanted. It was clunky though. It wasn't a great experience. But yeah, and I don't even recommend it for people paying off debt because I think manually adding transactions is beneficial. Tracking your transactions in real time, I think, is really useful when you are working to become frugal and really tightly control your expenses. So, but Mint, there's a reason it's the number one downloaded personal finance app.
Yeah, I used it for a time. I think similar to with all of these apps, they can be useful for a time and then you can graduate from them. Or, okay, you've now reined in and have a good sense of how to go about whatever it is that it's helping you do or solve, and then move on.
Yeah,
with whatever system is best.
Yeah, I would say Mint is for the season after you've become debt-free and you want a more hands-off way to track your budget. I'd say that's kind of the best season for Mint.
Nice. The next one is YNAB, which stands for You Need a Budget. This article says that it's best for debt payoff, which I wouldn't disagree with. It can certainly, though, just help people who need a budget, hence the name. YNAB definitely has a cult following. Like if you're a YNAB user, you probably absolutely love it, which is fun. It's got like a good community around it. We actually had the founder of YNAB on our show for an episode at one point. So the idea behind YNAB is assigning every dollar a job. And what we particularly like about it is that it's based on the money you actually have in your account, not the money you will have. A lot of times we will budget based off of, well, in 2 weeks, I'm getting paid X amount of money. YNAB kind of flips the script on that and says, no, let's look at the money that you actually have in your account and build up a buffer. I know, Jen, you recently talked about YNAB in our Facebook group for somebody who kind of has this weird payment structure where her husband's getting paid monthly and she's getting paid every other week. And how do I manage this with my bills? And YNAB can really help with those types of situations in that, well, we're utilizing the money we already have in our account to pay for these things. So it's not as difficult. We don't feel as hard pressed trying to figure out which payment goes to which bill when it's already figured out based on the money that we have in our account. So that's definitely, it's essentially a digital envelope system. If anybody is familiar with the envelope system of budgeting, this is a digital way of kind of going about that.
Yeah, I love the YNAB philosophy about budgeting based on the money you already have, budgeting based on what you made last month, because there's no question on what your income's going to be. Sometimes if you're hourly or variable income, you can try to guess what your income's going to be, but you don't know. If you're budgeting based on last month, you know, you're not getting, like, if it's November, you're not getting any more income in October. So that's really great. But you don't need the app to do that. This app does cost money, and it's a great, budgeting app, but you can do this, use this philosophy with any zero-based budgeting chart or app.
Yeah. Or use it and learn how it works and then do it on your own too. Again, not all these things have to be lifetime.
Yeah, you do get 34 days free, but it is, and they have recently released or are releasing kind of like more education around the app to make it easier to catch on to more quickly. The third one is actually one of my favorite apps, and it is a big name in money management. It's Personal Capital. And so they have so many free tools for tracking your net worth, tracking your transactions, making sure you're on point for retirement with your fees and your saving and everything. So this is something that it's great to track all your transactions from multiple accounts. So if you're using one credit card and your spouse or partner is using another, and you want to track you see all the transactions in one place, Personal Capital is great for doing that. We use it more than any other app, and it is one of the few apps that has made it onto my phone. But I think it's more for when you are focusing on building wealth. Personal Capital gets really fun to watch your net worth grow. If you are paying off debt, you probably don't care about Personal Capital, but you can get a $20 Amazon gift card from Personal Capital no matter what your financial goals are. If you have any retirement accounts, brokerages, anything, at least $1,000 invested, and you connect those to Personal Capital, you will get a free $20 Amazon gift card when you sign up through our link, frugalfriendspodcast.com/PCAP, PCAP. Shameless plug, because we also get an Amazon
who
gift
doesn't
card.
want a $20 Amazon gift card,
right?
especially around the holidays?
Exactly.
It's a great little plug. The next one on here is Prism. And so they say that this app is best for bill pay. The way that it works is it shows all bills and financial accounts in one place. So you can track bills, or it tracks your bills for you and can send due date reminders so that you avoid late payments. And one of the best features, at least in my opinion, is that you can pay those bills directly from the app. So it eliminates the need to log into multiple accounts, which sometimes can be the barrier when you forget all of your passwords and how much time that takes to log into each one. I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to recommend that you have bill pay set up automatically.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are bills that don't allow that for whatever reason. They're still in the ice age. So this is a great app if you just want to see everything in one place, pay everything from one place. Go ahead.
Yeah. I never saw the need for something like this until my son's insurance. It is small insurance. I don't even understand why their computer system just doesn't take auto pay right now. And they're like, we're working on it, pay manually. And then also with travel hacking, with some of my bills, I get to pay on my credit card. And then I have to log into everything new when I get a new credit card and change it all up. And so now recently I've been seeing the convenience of something like this. There are several bill pay apps, and I don't use them, so I'm not sure the differences, but like I know Bill Shark is another big one. But it might be something I look into more in the future. We'll see. But I can see the need for them now. And then the last one I think that I'll mention is Spendy. So this one says it's best for shared expenses. This one's been around a long while. I did use this one. I tried it out when I was writing my budgeting article all those years ago. So this one is specifically for if you, I guess, maybe share some expenses with a roommate or a boyfriend or girlfriend that you don't want to like have joint accounts with. And so this one says you can manually add cash expenses for a more accurate picture of where your money goes. So if somebody, I don't know why people are still using cash, but if your roommate buys toilet paper in cash, they can put it in here and you can split it. So stuff like that. It also has a bill tracker functionality. So yeah, it is a budgeting app for multiple people who don't share accounts. That's how I'm going to describe it. If you have a roommate
description.
Or a boyfriend or girlfriend. Yeah. So that's for this.
Mm-hmm. And then the last one that we'll mention here, again, just stalwarts in this space of financial apps, is EveryDollar. And so this is a budgeting app that utilizes the zero-based budget method. It can track monthly expenses, show how much you spent, how much is left to spend in each category. Again, similar to a digital envelope system. So if you're needing a budgeting app, this is another one that is very commonly used. But a lot of these things, like we said already, you can also do on your own. It doesn't have to come through an app, but can be helpful and useful for understanding how to budget, getting your feet wet in that budgeting water, and then going from there.
Absolutely. Yes.
AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So, buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power. So, how do you compete without costs spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing. And of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less, like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/strategic. That's oracle.com/strategic. oracle.com/strategic.
We all agree that reducing carbon emissions is a good thing. And once again, Toyota is leading the way. We hear a lot about fully electric vehicles, and Toyota has them with more on the way. But we also know a BEV is not for everyone, whether it's because of cost, range, or concerned about finding a charging station when you need it. Plus, the raw materials used to manufacture batteries are limited. Enter Beyond Zero, Toyota's vision for a carbon-neutral future, in vehicles and in manufacturing plants too. In the years ahead, the materials used to make just one long-range battery for an EV could be used to make batteries for 6 plug-in hybrids or 90 gas-electric hybrids. That's why Toyota's position today is electrified, diversified, empowering you to choose how to reduce your own carbon footprint with a vehicle that's right for you. A hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or battery EV. So shop, learn more, and get details at toyota.com/beyond0. Toyota, let's go places.
So let's move on to our next article. This is the one we are really excited to spend some time in. And it's actually from Real Simple, and it is their Smart Money Awards. And I don't know how Real Simple just like got in on all of these like come ups, but they've got some great stuff on here.
I am really excited about this article, and it is long, so we will have the link in our show notes. Definitely check it out because it goes through some really great apps in various categories like budgeting, investing, banking, debt payoff, credit, shopping, life events. It just goes on. And something else I especially loved about it, so many familiar names. They utilized 14 judges to go through these 2021 apps. And a lot of them, for our longtime listeners, might even recognize of folks that we've had on our Frugal Friends podcast. And so it's fun to see their names, that these are some experts that we've even had opportunity to talk to who are recommending these apps, and some really great ones on this list.
Absolutely. So the first one is a budgeting app, and it is Cube Money. So we love Cube Money. Cube is a supporter of the show. They sponsored the Frugal Living Summit we had over the summer, and we know so many of our listeners use them and love it. And it is, I don't know how nobody came up with this before, but Cube is the first. It is a digital envelope system where you actually can put money into it. So it's like a part banking app, part budgeting app. And you transfer money into Cube and you distribute it into your envelopes. And then you can use your Cube debit card to make purchases out of the envelope. So you open an envelope on the app, and then when you make a transaction, it comes out of there. It is so great. This is really what I would use. If you're paying off debt and you're trying to live on the envelope system, but cash is hard, then this is what I would use. Like hands down, no question. Like
I love that it's
got it.
Combination of it's a banking app with budgeting features built in. Love it. Because that's simple.
Yes.
That is real simple. Thanks, Real Simple.
And Cube has like all of the same foundational beliefs that we do for how to spend money, just spending money intentionally. Like spending is not bad, but you should be intentional about it. And this is just using that behavioral psychology, boundaries to help you do that. And so you can, if you check out Cube, then use our link, frugalfriendspodcast.com/Cube, QUBE, and you support the show if you sign up for any of their other things that they offer.
Voice, another shameless plug. But honestly, we think they're great.
We do love Cube.
The next one that we'll highlight on this list is a banking app, Ando. Real Simple identifies this as best for banking in good conscience. So it is a digital banking app where they invest all of the money that you are utilizing to bank with into eco-friendly initiatives, clean energy, that kind of thing. So you really can bank in good conscience, like they say. And another really great thing about them is that they don't charge fees. They don't require a balance within the account and just have all sorts of other conveniences. So really great bank to utilize for those of us who are concerned about what are these banks doing with our money when we're banking with them. And so they even show you where they're putting the money and how it is impacting the community and environment. So really, really great transparency with this app and this bank.
Yeah, you should know that when you keep your money in a bank, they invested on your behalf for their gain. So that's just It's not bad. It's just what all banks do to make money. That's how they should be making money versus charging like exorbitant fees. That is a personal opinion. But a lot of the big ones, Chase, Bank of America, all those will invest in like fossil fuels and just things that are not very great for the environment. And so some banks are coming up where they're saying, hey, we're not going to put your money into any of that. You can be sure that if you keep your money with us, that it's only going to be used for the benefit of the environment. And so Aspiration has been a long time one that I've recommended in this. Ando, this is the first time I'm hearing about it. So I'm super excited to like do more research into them. And it was a sustainable bank designed for the mobile experience. So very excited to look more into them. The second one that I will mention is Perch. And this is a app to build credit, but it does not charge you fees like some other credit building apps do. So you can use your Netflix subscription, your rent, just subscriptions in general to show as credit history because on-time payments are 35% of your credit score. And so the more on-time payments you have, the higher your score. But instead of using debt to show your on-time payments, they use bills. And so this is great. I love the idea of this. It's not revolutionary, but it is now becoming widespread now with an app. So it's a free app. I haven't looked too much into it, so I don't know what kind of expenses it would charge. It says they believe you should be able, or we believe you should be able to build credit for free. So that leads me to believe that there are no fees. But yeah, Perch, if you have a short credit history, definitely something to look into for building credit. Yeah,
especially for young people who eventually want to rent an apartment, purchase a car, like these types of things.
If you don't want to use credit cards or something like that, you try Perch.
Beautiful. The next that we'll highlight is within the investing category. So both Fidelity and Vanguard have apps that you can utilize. Vanguard has low-cost digital advising, so you can input savings, habits, goals, your risk tolerance, and their robo-advisors, their bots will put together a recommended portfolio for you. So it takes out the expense of a financial advisor. It takes out some of the guesswork of you doing your own research of what is the best ways to invest here and timeline. Also, Fidelity has something called Fidelity Spire. They specifically recommend this for young people. Again, probably both are fine. You could use whoever it is that you're primarily investing with, Vanguard or Fidelity. But you, again, similar to Vanguard, you input your goal and deadline, and they advise on investment accounts that will help you to be able to get there.
Absolutely. I mean, I was just impressed that they included the Vanguard and Fidelity apps and those options on this list. I think it's important to like note that a lot of these best of lists are literally the best of affiliate programs, whichever apps have the best kickback for people signing up on them. And Vanguard and Fidelity don't have that. And so you don't often see them on a list, but they are like the best, some of the best used things for investing. And so while I don't necessarily love their desktop user interfaces, the apps it's heading in the right direction. That's what I want to say. Mm-hmm. They're heading in the right direction.
They've gotten a lot of feedback that the usability, user-friendly user interface is not the greatest. And I think that they are taking steps to make it that way.
I think it comes down to needing a little more like user education of terms and stuff. And I think Fidelity's getting there faster than Vanguard, but it is, we're getting there. I am hopeful. Speaking of investing, this is another one. Capitalize. This is a 401k rollover service, and it's free. So essentially, so many people have 401ks that they were automatically signed up for, and they put money in, they leave the job, and they just forget about it. So what Capitalize does is I think it can help you find 401ks too, or if you already know you have a 401k that needs to be rolled over, it'll help you pick a brokerage. It includes Vanguard and Fidelity's robo-advisors. It'll help you figure out kind of which one you want to go with, and it'll tell you what to kind of it needs to be rolled over to, like a Roth 401k needs to be rolled over to a Roth IRA, a regular 401k into a traditional IRA, stuff like that. Like, we get questions like that a lot, but it's hard to say, like, without typing a whole paragraph being like, well, if you have this, you need this. And if you have this, you need this. And if you make this much, like, consider this. So this is just like a free service that can help you do that accurately and not leave you, avoid that big tax bill that could come from doing it incorrectly.
Yeah.
So that's, Capitalize.
It serves a needed function. And I love that about this app.
And they've reached out to us because they like what we're doing on Frugal Friends. So that means I like them as people if they do that.
If they like us, we like them.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work that way, but
yeah, we did not put them on this list.
Real Simple did. All right. The next one we're going to highlight comes from the category of shopping. I would also just say spending, but Real, REEL, is an app that can help us to make debt-free purchases. So specifically for big purchases or even small purchases that you have in mind, it helps you to set up a savings plan for that specific item. So it acts like an account that can pull money automatically from your bank account, checking account on a daily or weekly basis to add contributions to it automatically. And then it even will alert you once you've got the desired amount in that account. And it sounds like it can actually make the purchase for you of whatever it is that you're trying to buy. I don't know that I would actually utilize that function. It's going to alert you before it makes the purchase. But it sounds like you can tell it what you want, how much it's going to be. It'll let you know when you've got that money in the account, it can buy it. But that can act as a, hey, are you sure you still want this? Or do you want to put the money to something else? But it does offer that function of patience and waiting until you have the money to be able to purchase that thing and set aside that allotted amount so that you're not just floating it on a credit card.
I am obsessed with this idea because buy now, pay later sites have been getting so much publicity. People love them and promote them without knowing. It's not that you won't make your payments. I believe most people do make their payments on time. They're not going to pay fees. But what they are banking on is that you buy more, because Afterpay and Affirm, these things make a percentage of the amount that you buy at these retailers. And so they want you to buy more. And the fact that you can buy now and pay over installments, studies have shown, and that's why they keep pushing it and advertising it, is that you do pay more. You do buy more if you have this option. And so I am so frustrated by these sites. And so Real is is combating that and being like, yeah, I get what you want, but like, let's save for it over the 4 to 6 payments and then get it. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so great. Mm-hmm. I wish this one was getting commercials on Hulu. So the last one for me, and this one's near to my heart, is Careful. And so this one's going to be probably for our older crowd, or our older millennials at least. But it is for handling, for the caregivers handling their loved ones' expenses. And so in the U.S., 53 million adults are caregivers, and many look after their loved ones' finances. So whether that's, a debilitating disease like dementia, or just like you're just taking care of your parents and you want to have access to their finances because it's easier. And so Careful, F-U-L-L, it helps you do that. It's like a second set of eyes, and it helps you kind of together manage and make that easier for you. So yeah, it's endorsed by a friend of the show, Cameron Huddleston, who wrote the book Mom and Dad, We Need to Talk, which is all about talking about finances with your parents, which is something near and dear to my heart. So yes, if you find yourself having to handle a loved one's expenses or find yourself as a caregiver at any point, definitely check out getcareful.com.
I love this type of app so much because it can be so confusing and so overwhelming to be figuring out another person's finances and everything that comes along with that in a caregiving situation. So, man, apps like this really do solve a problem and can really offer benefit. And yeah, I'm really thrilled about it.
Yeah, and you can if there's so many people take advantage of older Americans, and you can kind of see fishy activity, or even see if the person you're supporting is, buying like $100 worth of hand soap every month. You can be like, hey, I'm not going to give you money if you keep buying hand soap. But that's a little too personal, but we'll go on. I digress.
Speaking of personal, but not too personal, the Bill of the Week.
That's right. It's time for the best minute of your entire week. Maybe a baby was born and his name is William. Maybe you paid off your mortgage. Maybe your car died and you're happy to not have to pay that bill anymore. Duck Bills, Buffalo Bills, Bill Clinton. This is the Bill of the Week.
Hey ladies, you guys are so fantastic. I had a great Bill of the Week. My bill was a $12.99 auto part for my top radiator hose. One day this week I got to work, my engine exploded and fumes started pouring out. The antifreeze had busted. A couple hours later, I'm trying to drive to the auto shop, which is 12 miles away. My car engine's overheating. I keep pulling off to the side of the road. And finally, somebody stopped and was like, hey, do you need help? And I was like, yeah, do you have any water? And they said, let me take a look. They took a look, figured out what was wrong, drove me to the auto store, picked up the part, came back, installed it, and I was on my way. It was great that a stranger stopped and helped, and I only had to pay $12.99 to fix my car. Thanks, ladies. Have a great day. Bye.
Wow.
Whoa.
I love a good Samaritan. I love it.
Amazing. Well done. Glad that it's fixed now.
Yeah, I'm so glad that there are good people in the world. That's the bill for me.
Yeah. There are good people in the world. Most people desire to be good people.
Yeah. I think if you were ever questioning about, this is awkward, should I be kind? Be awkward and be kind. I think that's the moral of the story, because you could really help somebody who really needs it. And yeah, and then they'll share your good deed on a podcast and inspire other people to also do good deeds. So thank you, Stevie, for sharing that with us.
If you want to submit your Bill of the Week, if it's about a good Samaritan or not, visit frugalfriendspodcast.com/bill. Leave us your bill. And now it's time for the lightning round.
So we said the title of this show was our favorite personal finance app. So let's stop listening to Google. Let's talk about us, Jill.
Let's talk about us, baby.
Let's talk about you and me.
We all agree that reducing carbon emissions is a good thing. And once again, Toyota is leading the way.
Yeah, we hear a lot about fully electric vehicles, and Toyota, they got them with more on the way, I'm telling you.
We also know a BEV is not for everyone, whether it's because of cost, range, or if you're like Ray and you're going to start freaking out, oh no, I can't find a charging station when that battery gets real low.
Yeah, plus the raw materials used to manufacture batteries are limited. Enter Beyond Zero. So Toyota's vision for a carbon-neutral future in vehicles and in manufacturing plants, too. In the years ahead, trust me, it's happening, baby. The materials used to make just one long-range battery for an EV could be used to make batteries for 6 plug-in hybrids or 90 gas-electric hybrids.
That's why Toyota's position today is electrified, diversified, empowering you to choose how to reduce your own carbon footprint with the vehicle that's right for you, a hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or battery EV.
So shop, learn more, or get details at toyota.com/beyond zero. Toyota, let's go places.
Vroom, vroom.
We're an Instacart family.
Oh my goodness, we saved so much time with same-day grocery delivery.
So we joined Instacart Plus.
And now we're saving more money.
We get unlimited free delivery on orders over $35,
5% credit back on pickup,
and a family account to shop together.
Did you know members save $460 a year when they order at least once a week?
I do now. See how much you'll save. Visit instacartplus.com for 2 weeks free. Average savings exclude membership fee. Individual savings may vary. Credit back excludes alcohol. Paid membership auto renews. Additional terms apply.
Can't sue us because that wasn't the real line of the song.
Yup. And also it wasn't even like on pitch, so we fine.
Right, it's totally different. All right, so I'll go first. Apps. I much prefer apps at a restaurant, but let's see what I've got.
Ugh, getting hungry.
So Personal Capital is number one for my personal finance apps. I use it pretty frequently I will reconcile transactions in a Google Sheet. So a Google Sheet is my other most used. And just to make sure that we are on the right trend. Like we have goals, I say budget goals that we like to hit, just so we can be conscious. Like I like to spend no more than $50 a week on takeout. You know, that's kind of my limit. So just to make sure that we're staying around stuff like that. So Personal Capital, Google Sheets, M1 Finance is where I have our savings for our rental property. We are saving up to buy a multifamily. So that's where I have that. And Raise, which isn't really a personal finance app, but I get discounted gift cards. And that's looking like it's it.
That's great. It's good to be simple with it. And you've learned what's going to be most useful for you and your lifestyle and your current needs.
Yep, that's it. Oh, also Dosh. We talk about Dosh and Raise in our other episode. But Dosh is like a cashback app. And you just connect. You don't even need the app to use it, honestly. But you connect your card. And then if you shop somewhere, and they have a lot of local stores. So if you dine out at a locally owned restaurant, potentially could get cash back from Dosh. So I like that local incentive part of Dosh.
And those types of apps are awesome. I think it's worth identifying 2 to 3. Like we could flood our phones with so many, but even those money saving, those cash back, identify just a couple because otherwise it's going to be overwhelming. We won't use it. Even if we do use it, we might not remember to like cash in, so to speak, on whatever the rebates or incentives are. So don't overwhelm yourself. Just pick a couple that make the most sense for you.
Yeah. Try one out in every quarter, maybe. So
that's fun.
Give yourself a quarter to try it out.
For me, I'm similar. As it relates to budgeting, I use a Google Sheet. So I can have the Google Sheets app on my phone if that counts.
Yeah, I do have the Google Sheets app.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't use an actual budgeting app for that. I've learned what works for me and I use a sheet. Beyond that, though, I do use other specific apps for saving money at my favorite places. So one of my favorites, I'm going a little bit rogue, a little bit off script from the specific apps that we've talked about today, but Yelp is an awesome one. It's one of my favorites, not only to find really great restaurants in the area, but a lot of times when you are logged in to the app and you like check in at a place, you can get free stuff. Well, there's been plenty of places that are like, you get a free app for logging in or leaving a review. You can maybe buy one, get one, or a free dessert, that kind of thing, by using Yelp and leaving reviews for people. Oh, it's so great. And I trust Yelp more than any other review site. Google reviews on restaurants, I find, are not as reliable as the Yelp reviews.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know you've done your research.
Yeah. I think Yelpers, I think that's what they're called, are a bit more conscientious about what they're writing and maybe a little bit more hardball with it, and yet it leads to better reviews, more accurate reviews. So a lot of times I find that Google might give a 4.5 star, but it's only like 3.5 on Yelp, and I'm going to trust Yelp every day. So anyhow. And then another one that I have been using lately is Splitwise. So it's a really helpful app when either eating out with friends or traveling with people, to be able to identify who's spending what. And then it kind of reconciles at the very end what everyone owes each other. This is great for bachelorette, bachelor parties, or weekends, a weekend trip with friends. You name it. Anytime that various people are shelling out different amounts of money that eventually you want to reconcile with each other on, or even like party planning together, if you're throwing some sort of bash for something, a baby shower, and different people are paying different amounts of money, you can throw it all into the Splitwise account. And it even has the different functionalities to say, do we split it equally? Did one person just pay and everybody else owes this amount? It's quite a complex system where you can input various amounts of money, different people, and then at the very end, you just click a button, like reconcile, and then it shows who owes who, what amount of money. I've gone on a couple of trips with people and have utilized it, and it is fantastic. Splitwise.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I hope that you guys got some new ideas for apps. Maybe if you were looking for some. If you're not, then don't try to solve your problem with an app. I think that if you see a problem in your life, there is probably an app for it, but don't create problems just because you see a cool app. And that's kind of the moral of the story. That's it.
Good summary, Jen.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for your kind reviews on iTunes and Stitcher, like this one from Hoff456. It just happens to be 5 stars. It says, great informative podcast. I love this podcast. The hosts are friendly and down to earth. I love their belief that being frugal should be fun. Candace. Oh, it's from Candace. Yes. Oh, I know Candace. Yes. Candace. Thanks, Candace.
So kind. We also want to thank our friends who share these episodes on social media. So when you share the latest episode and tag us on either Facebook or Instagram, we add you to our monthly drawing. For every 5 tags and reviews we get each month, we are giving away a copy of the Values-Based Budget Binder.
Woo! Yes, that's our newest binder in our store. So it is not even available to the public as of this recording. But by the time you win it, if you win it, it will be. So keep leaving us those reviews on iTunes or Stitcher and sending the screenshot to frugalfriendspodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to tag us on social.
Bye. See you next week.
Frugal Friends is produced by Eric Siriani.
Jen, what's your favorite appetizer food app?
I guess it just depends on where I'm at, you know? I love a good buffalo wing with ranch. I love a good garlic knot with marinara. I love a good canapé
What's that?
It's a small bite size, anything bite size, I think. You just pick it up and put the entire thing in your mouth. So
I like that. Love the sound of that.
Yeah. What about you, Jill?
Oh gosh. Well, there's so many different categories. There's the you make it at home category. There's the you get it out at a restaurant category. For the ones that I make at home, I would say buffalo chicken dip, real good go-to. Stuffed jalapenos, jalapeno poppers maybe, if you will. What else? Cheese, like a block of cream cheese with a spicy jelly over top of it that you can dip your crackers into.
See, I don't make apps at home, and I wish I can barely get dinner on the table. So
a bruschetta, a tapenade.
Oh, you make a good bruschetta.
Yeah. And then if I'm out and about, I'm a sucker for some of them olives. And then I think when I go out, I like the ones that you can't necessarily make at home, that might have the words that really get at me. Like if there's anything artichoke or caper or like spicy mayo in it, I'm like, I'm going to try that. Apps.
Yeah.
It's the tiny meals.
Tiny you'd love canapes. You'd love an hors d'oeuvre.
Yes. Hors d'oeuvres. All right. Well, I need to go eat now.
A dream is a wish your heart made. That dream comes true on a Disney cruise. Step aboard and discover where memories meet adventure. Where favorite Disney characters meet fun for everyone. Where the most magical, fantastical things can happen. If you just believe. Disney Cruise Line, where magic meets the sea.
Support for this podcast comes from National Car Rental. National knows that when it comes to business, there's nothing like being there. National helps you make the most of your travel. When you join the complimentary Emerald Club, you skip the counter, choose any car in the aisle, and manage your rental right from the app. So you can get more control to get more done. Go National. Go like a pro. Learn more at nationalcar.com. Subject to availability and other restrictions.